Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. Today we're going to be having a look at HNT. My name is Savage. Let's get into the charts. Okay, so we've had some nice moves up here, and we were talking about coming down into the zone and looking for a reaction off these lows, and we certainly have had one. Currently sitting about 66% up, and now we need to just be aware that within our count, actually, we are looking for another low here. So it's going to be important to see whether we can invalidate this. I'm going to go over a bullish count of these lows as well, and then we'll discuss what needs to happen for that to actually take place. But we just need to be aware that for as long as we stay in this range of this $1.9487 to this 145 area, I am looking for that possibility to break down. We've actually come up nicely into this 50% zone, and we've had a reaction off of here for the time being. I'm going to come down into the 1 hour. The reaction is just looking like a corrective structure to the downside here, but we need to just be aware that these things can escalate into other moves. So what I would be on the lookout for is that potentially, within here we could be getting something playing out where we either have this just as a corrective move, like I said, with this WXY, and then potentially come down one more time and we complete. Alternatively, within this, what we need to be careful of is that there isn't a diagonal within here where we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here, potentially something like flat up here, and then looking to actually break down in a bigger five-wave move. So we're going to have to monitor this. Currently, we obviously don't have enough structure to say that that is going to play out, but we do have the potential to break down in a bigger five-wave move to the downside here, looking towards the zone of this 102 to this 083 region. So we need to just be careful of this fact. So if we do start to break down here, so I mean, primarily within this current structure, there isn't really a lot to go off. It is just looking corrective. So we're going to go over that bullish count in a second. But what I want to be looking out for is if we start to break down past this zone of this 16788, then we could actually be looking to extend out here where we have a series of ones and twos here. And then basically what this would mean is we would have something like this as a 1, 2, potentially a bigger third, fourth, and a fifth. And then, we could see these higher targets or these lower targets come in here. What we'd want to be aware of is if we do break to the downside, so the other target would be this 165.54. If we do break down deeper into these zones, we'd have to be aware of that potential of extending out here. If we do form a bigger five-wave move to the downside here, any kind of a three-wave retracement which fails to take this high again could be setting up for a 1 and a 2. And then we could actually look to start to break down in a much deeper way. So we need to just be aware of this as a bearish scenario that hasn't invalidated itself. And the fact that we reacted off this zone is making me leading me to be a little bit cautious about this zone. So if we want to talk about the potential of a breakout in this zone, this is what we need to see happen. So ideally, we want to get above this 19659 area. We haven't quite reached it. We did come up quite close here, but we haven't actually come up into that zone. So what I want to see here is I'm looking at this move currently here. I'm just going to remove these fibs that we just put on there. I'm looking at this move currently, and I'm thinking, this could potentially be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to the upside. So what I'm looking out for here is if this zone of this 166.21 holds, potentially what we could still see is a push up in a fifth wave where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we see this move come up here towards this zone of this $2.11 to this $2.01. And then from there, what I would be looking out for is additional structure to the downside, looking at these internals and going, okay, well, we have another 1, 2 here, so we would expect another fourth wave here, a fifth wave, and then we would be past this zone of this 196.54, which would then make us look for that possibility of having an additional fourth and a fifth wave once again, which could actually look to push us up towards this $2.57 to this $2.34. So what we'd want to see within this area is basically if we do form a bigger five-wave move up here, like this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up into these highs, we'd want to watch the retracement and see just a three-wave move back to the downside, potentially coming back and retesting this level here. It doesn't have to do this. Sometimes these moves can just extend out and just get going. But at the moment, we don't really see that. There's potentially a single extension within here, but we'll have to just monitor the move, obviously, as time goes on. But what we would want to see is just a three-way move back down. And I'm just going to go off these current targets that we have here. And I would be looking at this zone. I'm going to just go to the middle of this point. If we did come up into the zone of this $2.42, and we did form this five-way move up here, potentially what we'd be looking for would actually be coming back and looking to retest this green box. So between this 168.18 to this 138.26. And we can see here that this middle part here, which would be that golden pocket area, this $1.54 to this $1.50, would be actually coming back into this zone that we talked about, coming back and retesting. So this is what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Potentially if we do continue to hold this higher support zone here, we can look for this fifth wave to the upside, but we just need to be careful of the breakdown here. It is just looking corrective currently. So I mean, this is completely viable that potentially it could be completed into here. The move to the upside is also looking corrective, so it wouldn't surprise me if actually we drop down one more time, and we have a bigger corrective move here, where this is basically one A, B, and then possibly, a C wave to the downside, or rather a W. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to figure out where exactly this is because it does seem to have just corrective moves in here. So, it's possible this could be W, this could be X, and then we could have a Y wave down towards this 165.16, which would then bring us down towards that lower range of that 50%. We're just sitting here at this 166. We don't really want to see a sustained break below this 166.21, but even if we do, potentially we could still look to find support lower down here between this 166.25 and this 151.30. If we start to break down past 151.30, that would make it less likely we're going to see this continuation up. And then we'd have to potentially just look at this move as a corrective structure, as a fourth wave, where potentially this is A. And instead of looking at this as a series of ones and twos in here, we'd have to say that potentially this is A, B, C, D, and E as a triangle here. And then this is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completed. So just basically a zigzag to the upside completed as a fourth wave. But really, if that is the case, basically we'll be taking out this $1.40 and this lower range here of this 124.86. As long as we stay above these two zones, potentially we can still look for this move to the upside here. But if we do start to break down out of this 166, it could be the first warning that this is starting to fall apart, and those lower targets of that fifth wave are, still in play. So we need to just be aware that there is still good structure arguing that we could see that fifth wave down. So until it actually invalidates, and for as long as we stay below this this high here of this 194.87, we could actually start to see this extend to the downside, coming down for this this fifth wave target area. So we're gonna have to just be aware of that. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.